Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting and give you my opinion on them, including DIRECTV wants to cut back on the number of channels they offer and offer bundles of streaming services. Verizon lost TV subscribers but saw a big jump in 5G home internet customers, and local TV stations are being accused of price fixing when it comes to ads. We'll talk about what's happening there and a whole lot more in this video. First though, hey, if you're new here, if you want to learn more about these stories, I'll put a link to each one in the show notes and in the first pinned comment. You can read the story there and come up with your own opinions. I'd love to hear from you. Also, if you could, help us grow. Hit that subscribe button or hit that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. So YouTube recommends our videos to more people, helping us grow and hopefully helping you break free from the high cost of TV, but still enjoy the shows you like. So with that said, let's dive into it. Starting off with DIRECTV wants to cut the number of channels they offer and offer bundles of streaming. Last week at the LA Sports Innovation Conference, one of the executives from DIRECTV got up there and was asked a lot about the Spectrum Disney deal that resulted in Spectrum dropping 8 Disney channels. In exchange, Disney got to bundle Disney Plus and ESPN Plus into their packages later this year. DIRECTV said they love that. They want to do the same thing, and they basically said, hey, there are all these sub-channels, MTV2, VH, 1, 2, BET side channels. They go on and on and on. There's all these alternate versions of channels that in today's day and age just don't make sense. They think it's time that we get rid of those channels and focus more on the channels that are profitable, the main ones, and bring bundles of streaming services to their customers. This has been a sentiment we've been hearing from a lot of companies out there, but this is the clearest we've heard from another. It raises questions. DIRECTV is the third largest, I believe, by subscriber count. Those are estimated numbers because they no longer report numbers. Spectrum is confirmed to be the second largest cable TV provider out there. If number 3 and number 2 drop the same channels, that could very well put many channels out of business. It'd be very hard for them to compete or stay open when an estimated, I don't know what that would be, 20-some million customers suddenly vanish from their subscriber base. We'll see how that plays out. But I don't think they're alone. I think many cable TV companies are looking at this. Unfortunately, smaller ones probably don't have the bargaining power right now, but the bigger ones do. The smaller ones may have to rely on the bigger ones to drop these channels, eventually maybe force them out of business in order to get rid of them on their channel lineup. We'll see. But bundled streaming services into cable TV bills is probably going to become more and more common, and some of these smaller channels going away is probably becoming more and more common. All right, let's keep moving along. Verizon lost 78,000 TV customers in the third quarter of 2023, in just 3 months, but added 384,000 5G fixed wireless customers. These are the 5G internet plans out there. So again, two things: cord cutting 2.0 becoming more and more of a reality, and the fact that Fios TV hasn't been sold to new customers in a long time. They're pushing everybody over to YouTube TV. They say that's the most profitable method for them. In total, Verizon added 434,000 broadband customers. The vast majority of these, again, were 5G home internet customers with that. The rest were out there between DSL and fiber customers. I don't really know how many DSL customers are signing up. I think they probably sell, like AT&T, have a few markets out there. AT&T tried not to sell DSL anymore. Instead, they're pushing their 5G internet. But it's, again, this idea of getting rid of cable, switching to cheaper other options, in this case, Verizon's 5G home internet, may not be right for everybody, but for a lot of people, they're very happy. And apparently it's doing well because they're adding a lot of subscribers with that. We'll get T-Mobile's numbers today when you're watching this, so check out Cord Cutting News. It'll be interesting to see how many 5G customers they added. All right, a growing number of broadcasters are being accused of price fixing and collaborating together to set the price of local TV ads. Now Fox, CBS, and Cox have agreed to pay $48 million to settle these claims. They admit no wrongdoing in this, but they agreed to do this to offer rebates to people who bought ads between January 1st, 2014 and December 31st, 2018. Now, other companies like Nexstar and Scripps and Sinclair and more are all being accused of the same thing. They're still fighting this in court, saying they did not cooperate to price fix the cost of local television ads. Now, these are the locals. Now, most commercial breaks break up their ads a few ways. The big networks get to sell a certain number of the ads, and locals get self-serve on the ads. That's why you see big national ad campaigns for McDonald's between commercials for your local car dealer and more. But the argument here is that these local TV stations work together to push up the cost of ads and keep them high illegally. We'll see if that's proved in court. So far, no one has admitted wrongdoing. I'm sure, for example, Fox only has to pay $6 million in this. They're probably saying, hey, the cost of our lawyers could be over $6 million in this. Why don't we just pay $6 million, be done with it, admit no wrongdoing, and move on? Not have to have this cloud over us also. We'll see what happens, but in total, they listed a group of plaintiffs listed CBS, Cox Media, Dreamcatcher Broadcasting, Fox, Griffin Communications, Meredith Corp, Nexstar, Raycom, EW Scripps, Sinclair Broadcasting, Tinga, Tribune, and/or Tribune Media. Remember when this was done, they were still around, and more on that list with that. So only a few of them have admitted not admitted wrongdoing, but agreed to pay off the deal. We'll see what happens there, but keep a close eye on this. The cost of local ads has been a big source of how funding TV is, right after the amount they get from pay TV companies like Comcast. We'll see how it plays out. All right, let's shoot through some other quick stories here. Amazon's freebie service is adding 3 new live channels next week. These are included Exhibit C, Sports, and Wondery. These are all from there. They'll go live on October 31st. If you want to see what these channels will include, there's a full breakdown of all the content there with it. So check that out. All right, T-Mobile is, if I can get the next story to load, sometimes my iPad acts weird. T-Mobile is upgrading its 5G home internet speeds. 5G in general has been updated. So Verizon's got their ultra wideband network, which is their fastest 5G. T-Mobile has what they call ultra capacity. Same idea. It's much faster 5G. While T-Mobile says their ultra capacity is now covering 98% of Americans. Again, this is based on population, so covering the major cities doesn't necessarily mean all the suburbs and smaller towns will get this, for example. But this will be significantly faster internet than the older 5G or standard 5G they currently offer through home internet. Great news for 5G customers. You should be noticing faster internet if this is available in your area, and 5G home internet. All right, there is a new OTA TV network rolling out stations. This is a company called Digital Networks LLC. They have rolled out 8 markets this year and already have a few out there. The newest one went live this week in Joplin, Missouri, and that's KJLN/LD. It offers the Heartland Network, Retro TV, Revin, the Action Channel, and the Family Channel, all for free over there. They're in other markets, including Charleston, South Carolina, Indianapolis, Oklahoma City, Greenville, North Carolina, Jacksonville, Florida, and more. If you want to see all the areas where this is going, check that out. Never be afraid to rescan your channels. You never know. There's a growing number of new over-the-air TV channels going live all the time, and this could help you decide if that channel is right for you if you get new channels. But check that out. You can see the full list of all the markets that have come in last year and this year. All right, the Roku Channels added over 15 new channels, including ones from Fox Sports, NBC Sports, BBC, PBS, and more. We have a full list over there, but the Roku Channel has added a ton of new content out there, including SNL Vault and more. There's also a ton of Spanish channels. We're trying to work with Roku to get a list of all the Spanish channels out there. I'm also not a Spanish person, so I struggle to kind of understand what's out there. But thank you to the tip. Readers send us tips like this. This comes from a reader's tip. Thank you so much for that tip, so we can write a story about it. And last story before we get into the question of the day, ESPN may drop Major League Baseball, but reportedly wants to stream local MLB games in a new ESPN Plus tier. This comes from the New York Post, who says that after the 2025 season, Disney has an out of their contract that will allow them to cancel the contract and no longer air MLB games on the main flagship ESPN channel. This, at the same time, they're also interested in having local games streamed online through ESPN Plus in market for an additional fee on a new added tier here. Now, Disney apparently pays MLB about $500 million every year. With the NBA deal next year and the new college football playoffs and more coming to become a reality, it's speculated, according to the New York Post, that Disney may want to cancel this in order to free up that $500 million a year, get out of it early, and put that money towards NBA, put that money towards college football and more. Disney's becoming, and said this, that they want to be more selective in where they put their money into sports. We'll see what happens. But let me know what you think of that. One point in the article they talked a lot about was basically about sports. If they go under, ESPN and Disney wants to be a option for these teams to basically say, hey, come bring that stuff over to us. We'll offer it here. But let me know what you think. Do you want ESPN to continue to offer MLB games or not? All right, last question up of the day real quick. Yesterday we reported that Paramount was up for sale. A lot of people said Apple TV should buy them. Well, and this comes here from one question in particular asked me about. Luke, do you think Apple should buy Paramount Plus and merge it with Apple TV Plus? Now, on one side, this is kind of a two-sided argument here. One side, yes, that would address some of the issues. One of the main complaints about Apple TV Plus as a subscription service is a rather small catalog of shows and movies. Obviously, getting Paramount will allow it to solve that problem overnight. You'll have a ton of classic movies and television shows and new content from Paramount Plus and Showtime and so many other places. On the flip side, Paramount is, even though a small media company, is a big media company. And who would swallow who in the end? I think a lot of people forget that AOL bought Time Warner, not the other way around. AOL, at close to its peak, went and bought a massive media company and bought Time Warner. Well, what happened is Time Warner kind of ate AOL. Their executives, their teams kind of ended up taking over everything and eventually just kicked AOL out and kept going as a company on its own until eventually being bought by AT&T and then being bought by or merged with Warner Media and Discovery all into one company. A lot of people forget that. And I think there is, a lot of people say, oh, Apple's such a big company. But what they do is very laser focused. And Paramount is a pretty massive organization. I worry a little bit about the reverse takeover. Would Paramount negatively affect Apple by their culture, their designs kind of overpowering Apple and what they do? You can say that won't happen, but it happened with AOL and Time Warner. So keep that all in mind. Well, that's my thoughts for the day. I hope you all have a fantastic day. I'll be back tomorrow with another video.